Hi there. Welcome to the Conflict Resolution in Workplace course. We have all faced a conflict situation at work, haven't we? Whether it's a disagreement with a management decision, or an approach to tackle a task, or a team lead that hogs all your credit, a teammate who has some air around them, or, well, the age old ego clash and rebellion. Now, we may or may not have done it, but since you're here, I'm sure you've witnessed it. While these usually start off small and one may actually laugh it off, in the long run, they take a nasty turn, converting into a conflict or an unmanageable situation. For example, a teammate who's self-centered or thinks less of the rest of the team members might not actually receive their team's help when they actually need it. It could lead to a not so well integrated team and unwillingness to work together. Another example would be ego differences, especially in the top tier, and that could lead to disagreements on non-objective grounds rather than good reasoning. This costs the business heavily if such clashes are not addressed on time. Conflict management is a very important skill that any people manager requires. How do you handle a situation if there is a disagreement amongst your own team members? How do you make sure your entire team has a healthy environment to work in and their productivity stays high? Let's start with understanding what is conflict management. It's nothing but the practice of being able to identify and then address conflicts in a timely and efficient way. The adverse effects of not preventing or managing conflicts at the early stages can be huge. It could lead to dissonance within the team, and an unpleasant work environment might even lead to some good resources making their way out in search for a more positive and a more constructive team to work with. Now, this reflects poorly on the people managers and has a cost attached to it for the business. We understand that it's important to manage conflicts at workplace and not just let them brew and follow their own course. The first step towards this would be to know the causes of these conflicts. So let's look at those. The eruption of conflicts at workplace can usually be attributed to one of these causes. First, personality clashes. Now, every industry has a strong mix of personalities. It's a jungle of people after all. It's also flooded with lots of challenging situations. And each of us as an individual has a different way to respond to these difficult situations. Such mismatches and such gaps can lead to clashes and unproductive incidents. Second is the needs and expectations of the industry. Now, we're all aware of the expectation and the as of yesterday deadlines that almost every industry is working with today. The demanding nature of workplaces to simply sustain in competitive markets have increased the work pressure and stress tremendously for every single employee. These conditions could work the temperament of the employees at all levels. And as humans, these stress-related emotions could find their way out in any way. It could be an angry outburst, adamant behavior to not pick up new tasks, or any other for that matter. And this could sometimes cause a discord or make it tough for people managers to handle situations. Third is poor grievance handling. With the challenges that the jobs throw at the workers today, it's important to show empathy and a fair hearing in case of grievances. And explaining any business decision to the staff, take them into confidence, and that can really help prevent unnecessary conflicts and fallouts. On the other hand, unresolved issues can lead to resentment setting in. Now that we have looked at what conflict looks like at workplaces, let's talk a little about managing such situations. If you are leading a team and conflict breaks out, how do you take charge of the situation? Establishing the root cause of an individual or a group's unhappiness is critical to solve conflicts. And to get to that stage, it's important to know if the problem stems from a behavioral issue, or is it an on-surface reaction to a long chain of events and might need a deeper look. For example, an entire team is unhappy with the annual appraisal, and initially one of the team leads doesn't address the issue. They don't connect with the members of the team, nor do they acknowledge that there is an underlying unhappiness amongst the group. Some of the good folks start reacting by doing just the bare minimum at the job, while others stop contributing new ideas to meet organizational goals. The overall initiative drive has gone down as compared to earlier amongst all the team members. The people manager ended up firing 2 employees over the next 3 months. It's important to understand that these conflicts or rebellion was not because the people were unwilling to work. There was a shift in behavior. It was because the right cause wasn't identified and addressed on time. A wrong action cost the company 2 team members who were once a positively contributing resource. And this was not a behavioral issue, it was a reaction. Now, in this particular case scenario, how could the people manager make a more informed decision? They could definitely start by asking some important questions to understand if it's a behavioral issue or if it's a surface level outburst caused by a completely different grievance. Let's take a few examples. The manager could have asked themselves if it's a recurring situation with the concerned employee. Has the particular employee or group shown disagreement with business decisions in the past as well? Are they a team player? How does their peer score their behavior as a teammate in a 360-degree feedback? And what is their general attitude towards work? Do they work with a positive frame of mind, or do they generally have complaints with the tasks that they are handed? By asking such questions to yourself before making big decisions like firing someone, one will be able to identify if you need to dig deeper to resolve a completely different issue. Now, let's say the people manager was able to identify that it's not a behavioral issue, it's actually an underlying grievance that needs to be resolved. After they ask themselves these questions, they decide not to fire the 2 employees, instead dig a little deeper. What kind of approaches can the people manager take to make sure they're able to deep dive into what the actual cause or actual problem is? In the upcoming lessons, we will take a look at the potential solutions and the potential tools that managers can use to first dig into the root cause of an issue. In the meantime, while we work on the next lesson, please drop us a comment over here and tell us if you enjoyed the video.